Okay, so that's all dried nicely. Got a nice gradient on the bridge of the nose. Nice clean washes, so yeah, that looks good. Now what we want to do is do the big washes over the face. We still want to kind of keep within the structure, the outline of the face. I might break it and come out towards the bottom to add some flicks, but not at the top, just at the bottom. And generally I start again in the kind of darkest point. This doesn't have to be exact. I'm looking at very subtle changes of light. So on this reference, I mean, his whole forehead looks one value, a very light value, but if you look at it closely, you know, there's subtle changes here. So I'm just going to exaggerate what I see. It doesn't have to be exactly like the reference. I can see that it's slightly darker in here, and here it's lighter here, and here. And I'm just, when I'm doing this big shape, I'm thinking about missing out not the lightest value. The lightest value is the highlight. The second value would be around here. So that if that's 0, this would be number 1. So we want to kind of miss out the number 1s really, and just make it abstract. And what I normally do is do one big wash over one side of the face. I'll then dry that. I'll then do another wash on the other side in a slightly different colour to give that balance, and then cross them over on the brow, so you have that something interesting going on there, because there's always a bit of dark, especially on this reference. It's subtle, but you can see the shadow going across there. So with a number 10 brush, for this side I'm going to again stick with red 1, plenty of water and pigment on the brush, and I'm going to start in the darkest point again, which is in here. Now with the eye, I think I'm just going to cover it. Sometimes I'll leave out the pupil or a part of the eye. I think with this I'm just going to cover it and bring the shape down up here, and then bring it round, missing out this one value, bring it round, probably into the nose, and do a bit of shadow on the nose and the top lip, and bring it round here, something like that, but we'll see what happens. But let's start in here. So you want to keep that there. And what I'll do is I'll actually come round the side of the eye there. Now while that is there, we can get a bit of water, we can load that. Now that's not going to dry, so we don't want that edge to dry, so we can leave that and we can come and work on this. So I'm going to clean the brush, bit of water. Sorry, the bin mans are outside. Bring that in here, and then pull that up here. Pull that round. Might get a bit more pigment in there. So you can be quite expressive with this, doesn't have to be exact. So again, clean the brush. Now I'm going to come back down onto, clean that up, come back down onto this. This won't dry it into a shape now because there's too much water there. So now I can start coming into that and manipulating it. Just following the contours of the face. can actually come and join that shape there. I can add more pigment as it gets darker at the bottom of the face here. And I'm just sort of looking at where the shadows are. I'm going to come up into the nose. I'm going to load up this because I don't want that to dry, while I just put this shadow into the nose. Also, I'm looking at it, I don't like that line there. Let's tidy that up. So you have to work relatively quickly with this part. So let's just do that shadow across there, leaving that gap between the top lip and the moustache. Okay, come in there, and I can actually just make that top lip a bit darker. If it was all dark enough already, I probably wouldn't go in there and do that. And then we're just going to create that shadow there. And now I can come and work on this again, because this is still wet. And as I say, I'm probably going to break this. We could leave it like that. That looks quite nice. And then we could add some shapes later. Let's leave that. I like that. There's a bit of shape. See this value here? See a bit of lightness there? I'm going to leave that out completely. So you want to exaggerate the value 1, if you like. We're going to leave the bottom lip out for the time being. I'm just going to bring this round and see. I'm just going to tidy that up. This is very subtle on the nose. I could probably pull this up a bit and soften that. So again, do I want a hard line or do I want to make that soft? I think I'm just going to break that a bit. Soften that up. Again here, I don't like the way it's drying in a jagged line. I want nice crisp lines. Just go and tidy that up. Again here, just make it look nice and neat. I might not be dry enough yet, but let's just see if we can pull that out there. Get a bit of that shadow coming down there. Okay. Now I'm going to leave that, I'll get the hairdryer on it, dry that, and then we're going to do the other shape on the other side.